everyone, welcome to 15 Minute Chef. Welcome back. So today's episode is about sides. So I had a request from a viewer that wanted to know if I had ideas for more side dishes that would be different to try. So the first one we're going to do is roasted carrots. I've got my oven heating up. I've already washed my hands, got my apron on, so I'm a little bit ahead. Get my baby carrots out. So I like to do roasted carrots. I'm not a fan of carrots. I don't like carrots. I don't usually put carrots in any of my dishes, and if I do, I make sure they're so small I can't taste them when I eat them. So doing this, I can tell you, is the best way to eat a carrot. I actually like it. They're actually delicious. So the first thing we want to do is get ourselves a sheet tray and a bowl. Actually, I'm going to get a couple of different bowls out. It's my first one. And my cutting board. Grab a few things to make our dish here delicious. I'm going to put my bowl over here so my camera can catch it. And I'm going to get my little utility knife. So I'm going to take some of the baby carrots out. I am looking for my colander. Now this episode is going to be a little bit longer than most because it's really 3 or 4 episodes in one. So I'm going to do 3 or 4 different sides for you guys, and then you can just kind of pick the one you like. So I'm taking some baby carrots. The first thing I'm going to do is wash them. Even though I know they're pretty clean because they're in a bag, they've already been processed, I just like to do a little extra wash and rinse. Got my little napkin right there. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can see if I can show you this on camera. I'm actually going to cut these in half, like that. And then I'm going to put them in this bowl right here. So let me pull this a little bit closer so y'all can see. Okay, so now we're going to cut these, and I'm going to put these in here. And then we're going to toss these with extra virgin olive oil and parsley, garlic, and just like a ton of seasoning. Of course, I'm going to use some of my adobo that I just have, which is my garlic powder seasoning that I love so much. After I finish tossing the carrots, I'm going to lay them on this sheet tray. I'm going to bake them at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. And it's really going to give the carrots a really nice texture. They're nice and roasted, so they're not going to be hard, but they're not going to be mushy either. So they're going to have a nice texture because I have a stepson who has texture issues, like a lot of children do, and that's okay. So this way he's going to, and he loves these carrots. This is probably the only way I can get some carrots that some kids will eat, is doing them like this. Now, if you want to add like a second step to this, you can sprinkle a little honey on top when you bake them too, and that makes them really nice and delicious. Okay, so I'm almost done, and I'm going to go ahead and toss these. I also have Cavender's seasoning, which if you've never used it, my husband's best friend, Dave Meeks, actually turned me on to it. I really like it. It's a nice Greek seasoning, so it's pretty good. Sprinkle a little bit of that in there. You can even do a little bit of Tony Chachere's, which I personally like too. My husband likes. And I think other than that, and you see I'm going to stir them up. And you really want to make sure they're coated in olive oil and they're coated in seasoning. So that's that seasoning. It's got me. And I think today's episode, I'm gonna add a little Parmesan cheese. Give it a little extra niceness, as I like to call it. So we're gonna add that in there. Ooh, that seasoning, it's got me. And you can't really over season this stuff. This is what's great about it. So I'm gonna toss it on my carrots. And you can see they're pretty well coated. And then you're just gonna lay them out on a sheet tray. Now when you lay them out, make sure, they're kind of, keep them apart. Lay them out like that. So they're nice and laid out. We're gonna stick those in the oven. That's our first side, roasted carrots. Stick with me for the next couple of sides. While the carrots are in the oven cooking, now we're gonna work on Mexican corn. So I've got my corn right here. I'm gonna put it into my mixing bowl. I have a half a block of cream cheese that I microwaved. You can do a whole block, just gonna depend on how creamy you want your corn to be. So I'm gonna put a half a block of cream cheese melted or softened in my corn. Mexican cornbread, you need mayo. Don't be freaked out. Mayo, when you actually cook it, that's 1 tablespoon. When you cook it, it actually changes the flavor completely. I'm gonna put some of my Adobo garlic powder, and I'm gonna put some Tony Chachere's, and then I'm gonna mix it up. And you see you got a nice creamy consistency. And then I'm gonna chop up with my little utility knife real quick. Gonna give just a little rough chop to some cilantro that I had. And I'm gonna put that in there. That's gonna give it a nice little flavor. I am gonna put it into my dish. Nice, creamy Mexican corn. Now you can leave out the mayonnaise and go with a little more cream cheese. And if you want to be super healthy, you could actually go with a little Greek yogurt or sour cream, depending on if you're keto, not keto. I like to sprinkle a little bit of Tony Chachere's on top. And like all my good corn dishes that I feed people, I'll sprinkle a nice little handful of cheese on top. And we can put this in the oven or you can put it in the microwave. Completely up to you. Okay, so side number 3. Greek salad, one of my personal favorites. Let me get a nice, I feel like the dish has to match the food. So a nice Greek bowl right there. I'm not gonna toss it, I'm gonna toss my stuff in my bowl right here. But this is ultimately where it'll go. So I got tomatoes at the farmer's market this weekend, and these are Creole tomatoes. They're my favorite. So I'm using a serrated knife because it's much easier to cut a tomato with a serrated knife than any other, because it cuts through the skin without tearing the tomato. And as you can see, I don't leave, this is the only part of the tomato that I don't use. Everything else I use. Now, I can tell you right now, my husband likes the tomatoes in small pieces. I like tomato. I like it in big chunks. So, cut your tomatoes however you like. I said that. I'm gonna cut one more tomato. I'm kind of making a small salad because I know it's just me and him tonight. So, we're gonna go ahead. And I'm cutting out, you see this part? I'm cutting the core out, the hard part. And then I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna cut it this way. I'll try to hold it together as much as I can. And then I'm cutting it like that. Some nice chunks. nice big chunks. I'm cutting the sides right here on the tomato. We're going to toss that out, and we're going to toss the core. So we're going to put all these tomatoes in our bowl right here, my little crazy bowl. Now I'm going to come with my cucumber. Some people like to take the skin off. I personally like to leave the skin on because that's where all your nutrients are. That's where the fiber is that your body needs. So, again, certain people don't like it, some people do. Some people take the seeds out. I don't believe in that either. I like it just the way it grows. So we're going to chop up the cucumber. We're going to add this with our tomato right in here. Try to keep it all uniform shape. I don't have to use the serrated, just happen to still have it in my hand. This is my vegetable cleaver. I have many different knives for many different purposes. So we'll throw our cucumbers in there. Feta cheese. If you don't like feta, you can also use goat. You can use cream cheese, crumble cream cheese, whatever it is that you like to use. I personally like feta, and feta is in the original recipe. Not to forget, this guy is really important. It's the red onion. Now, this stuff, along with the tomato and all your clippings, like from your cucumber, you may want to save and put them in your compost. I have a compost pile in the back 40 of my house, my land. I don't know what, 4 foot by 4 foot area that I compost. So it's great. I use it, the compost. Next year I'll use that compost for my garden. So I'm going to do some really thin slices of a red onion, excuse me. And I'm going to add it to my Greek salad roll here. I don't like big chunks, so we're going to sprinkle that in there. You can also take this red onion and you can chop it up however size you like. Put it in a jar with vinegar and sugar, and I can give you that mixture, and you can actually pickle the red onion. And then when you do things like taco night, like we do, we put the pickled red onion on our taco, and it's really delicious. So let me get my big spoons. So now you can see I got a little red onion, tomato. This is also a very colorful and very nice dish for if you have company. Now, with this salad, if you add croutons and you mix it in the mix, the Italians call that, I believe, panzini. So it creates a different salad. But like everything in culinary, what one culture did, another culture did the same thing and called it a different name. You know, there's creme brulee, and then there's, you know, in different cultures, there's all kinds of different custards, but it's all basically the same. It's just they've modified it or changed it in some way to make it their own. We say the wheel has already been invented. We just keep kind of modifying it. So we have a nice Greek salad. I'm going to take some extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to put that on top. I'm going to sprinkle some Italian Greek seasoning right there, boom, on top. I like my adobo, you know, my garlic powder. And then I sometimes put minced garlic in it, but since tonight I have some people eating it, they may not. If it was me personally, I would put minced garlic, but you can see, makes a nice salad. And then if you want to give it just a little extra kick, I'll add either a little bit of a cap of lemon or a cap of lime juice right there, and that'll give it like a little nice punch to it. Another really nice thing that I like to do, which I'm going to do with this one, is I have some sliced porcinis, peppers. I have whole ones too, but I like the sliced ones. So I'll actually get my crazy spoon, and I'll actually add those to it but not too much. Well, maybe just a little bit more. And then we'll mix that in. So we'll have a nice, beautiful Greek salad. And my husband's over there making faces, so I think he's smelling it and he's getting hungry. All right, there's your nice. And look, you can finish it off with a little chopped parsley on top if you want. It's also a nice touch. Adds a little bit of green. Totally up to you. Stick around and I'll show you one more side. Okay, so here's the last side. So we've taken some zucchini. I've sliced it up. Got my trusty Ziploc bag. I'm gonna put my zucchini in here. Let me get my air fryer going. This is an air fryer event. So we're gonna turn the air fryer on, max capacity. Get it hot and get it going. I'm throwing my zucchini in here. I'm gonna add some flour. I got about half a cup of flour. I'm gonna lightly bread the zucchini in flour, very lightly. And then I'm gonna put it in the air fryer. No, you don't need to put any seasoning, because at the end I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. So try to shake off as much flour as you can. I'm gonna stick it in here. See if I turn this light down a little bit. I'm making it clear. And we're gonna add our zucchini in there. Kind of shake it off a little bit. Stick it in our air fryer, let it start frying. While the zucchini is frying in the air fryer, we're gonna make a mixture. Let me wash my hands real quick. Now we're gonna make a mixture in our saute pan. And we're gonna turn it on. And it's olive oil, and the reason we have to heat this up is so you get the aromatics to open. So all the things I'm about to add in here needs to open up. A teaspoon of garlic. I got a little basil that I'm going to add to this. And you don't want to get it like piping hot. You just want to get it warm enough that it heats up and then it opens up all the herbs we're sticking in. I hate when they don't put a lip on this for you to tear the opening off. And then it's like a fire. Okay. So we're going to sprinkle our red pepper flakes in here. Again, like a teaspoon. And then I'm going to add an Italian seasoning mixture. I'll go ahead and add all of it. And I think I'm going to add a little more olive oil. Yeah, looks good. So it's almost like a dipping sauce that you would get to dip your bread in at a Italian restaurant. And we're actually going to toss, I think I'm going to put the rest of this olive oil in there, might as well, huh? We're going to toss our fried zucchini. We're going to toss our fried zucchini in this mixture of olive oil and garlic and seasonings. So it's going to give it that fried zucchini a nice spicy flavor. Let's check and see. So we're going to take it off. We're going to cool it off. We don't want it to stay hot. I'm going to take the oil. So I'm going to take the oil and I'm actually going to pour it into this dish. And then when my fried zucchini's ready, I'm just going to lay it on top, and then I'm going to take a spoon. I'm just going to, well, you'll be here, you'll see. And then I'm going to lightly toss it. And it's going to be delicious. Okay, so the last bit of our zucchini is frying in our air fryer. I've got some of our fried zucchini right here. I'm gonna go ahead and add it into our olive oil mixture, and I'm just gonna lightly toss it in with our olive oil. So you can see it makes like a nice fried zucchini mixture with our olive oil. And then to finish it off, when the rest of my zucchini finally is ready, I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan right over the top. Okay, so that's 15 minutes, chef. 4 different sides. Hope you guys like one of them. If any of you have any requests, please let me know. Text me. You can leave me messages here at the bottom of the video. And don't forget to like and share our videos. See you guys back again soon.